Hey everyone, I'm back in California with my guy Mark, and we're here to share a wild story. This one's about a New York mobster from the Gambino family, Tommy Karate Patera. Tommy, nicknamed Karate because he actually went to Japan and trained in martial arts, was the archetype of a fearsome, no-nonsense tough guy. He was often called on for enforcement. Once, John Gotti was targeting someone in our family, Willie Boy Johnson, and the hit was assigned to Eddie Leno and Fats Ali. They were close with Tommy Karate, and knowing his reputation, they essentially said, "Tommy, you're better at this than we are." Tommy agreed without hesitation. He confronted Willie Boy and unloaded, shooting him 15 times. A brutal, over-the-top display that became his calling card. 15 shots, far beyond what's needed. That was Tommy Karate. Bensonhurst born, brutal, and respected. But that was just the beginning. Tommy's personal life was dark too. His wife was addicted to drugs and often used with her friend Phyllis, Birdie, someone Tommy despised for corrupting her. One day, after his wife died while high with Birdie, Tommy became obsessed with finding her. He called in his crew member Frank Gongji, overheard Birdie's voice, grabbed her, beat and shot her in the head, then had Gongji help dismember her in a bathtub. It was horrifying. Gongji was shook. Even for him it was too much. And then there was another hit. Tommy ordered Frank Gongji and Billy Bright to kill the son or brother of a major drug lord, Mark Ryder, who was tied to Gotti. They tracked down Greg Ryder in the street and gunned him down multiple times. No one knew who did it, but Mark Ryder eventually found out it was Tommy and his men. In prison, he paid white supremacists, the Aryan Brotherhood, to retaliate. Billy Bright, whom I knew personally, was later murdered in prison by two AB guys who beat him to death with pipes. Revenge for the killing of Ryder's boy. Tommy's reign continued. One of his guys, Frank Gongji, was out on a date with a young woman when he got pulled over. Nervously, he started confessing about all the murders Tommy had ordered. Detectives arrived, then the FBI, and they began questioning the girl. She said she knew nothing except she was on a date. I later warned her, "Don't repeat what you heard. If they come to you, tell them my Uncle Sammy told you. Stay quiet." So when Frank got arrested the next day, I went to Tommy's place to warn him to clean up any evidence. He had books and knives about dismemberment all over the house. Tommy got arrested soon after. Later, I was approached by Ross Gongji, a captain in the Genovese family and Frank's uncle, accusing me of calling Frank a rat. I explained I had no choice. I had to warn Tommy. Ross left upset, but quickly returned to tell me Frank was cooperating with the FBI. He tried to pressure me to give up the girl's name, but I refused. "She knows nothing. She's safe with me. If you need anything, come to me." He dropped it. Once Frank flipped, Tommy Karate was finished, likely incarcerated for life. It was the craziest downward spiral. And that brings us to me and John Gotti in 1990. We were placed on a solitary tier, just 8 cells in total. I was in one, John Gotti was in another, Frankie Lacasio in the next, and right across from us, Tommy Karate. "Hey Sammy, how you doing?" "Hey Tommy," I replied. I knew he was deep in trouble, but to be honest, I had my own problems too. Tommy calls out to me one day, "You want to see the autopsy reports and stuff they've got on me?" I looked at him, confused. "Why the hell would I want to see autopsy reports, Tommy? What's wrong with you, man? You never cleaned house, did you?" He just shook his head. "Nah, they got it all. Magazines, tapes, tools, everything, Sammy." I wasn't interested. That stuff, those reports, wasn't something I wanted to look at. Every now and then, they'd let all 8 of us out on the tier, rarely but sometimes. Weeks passed, and they finally let us out again. Tommy walked straight over to John Gotti to talk. Not sure what was said between them, but afterward, Tommy came up to me looking heated. "Sammy, you're the underboss, right?" "Yeah, you know that," I said. He told me. I tried to talk to John, but he said, "You're not on my level. You don't talk to me." See, Tommy was made, but not even a captain. So I told him, "That's John's call. He's the boss. He doesn't know any one conversation. But you know you can always come to me. If you got something to say, tell me. I'll bring it to him. Tommy nodded, still clearly pissed, but he accepted that. Later, we were moved to different facilities. Didn't see him much after that. Just bits and pieces, rumors, updates. The Mark Ryder revenge story, new court cases, guys getting picked up. It was all in the wind. Years went by. After I served my time and got out, someone came up to me with some artwork in hand. Tommy's been drawing this. Want to help sell it for him? Use the money for his commissary. I looked through it. Honestly, the art was pretty damn good. I've done some art myself in the joint and I could see his talent. But I didn't want to get caught up in any of that. No selling, no collecting, no involvement. Told them, thanks but nah. Let his family handle it. I'm staying out of all that. Tommy was arrested in 1990. Do the math, that's what, 36 years ago? He's still alive. I found out he's about 10 years younger than me. I'm 80, so that puts him at 70. At one point, a lawyer approached me. Sammy, can you help get him out? He's done his time. He's changed. His health's bad. I said, look, I can write something saying I don't think he's a danger anymore. But I'm no doctor. I don't know his medical stuff, and I'm not sure I can sway a judge anyway. I told the lawyer, tell Tommy I send my love. Stay strong. But beyond that, there's not much I can do. I'm not lying in a letter just to get someone out. I'm not putting myself in hot water over this. If someone's threatening him or his people, let me know. I'll handle that. But legally, my hands are tied. When I was cooperating and telling the feds all this stuff, they were stunned. Tommy was one of those guys, layers and layers of mystery. Stories say he killed 40, 50 people. I can't confirm that. Never saw it firsthand. I just knew he had a reputation. And to me, as one tough guy to another, we could always talk. Never feared him. Never needed to. We always had mutual respect. When the feds asked me about his captain, I wasn't even sure. Could have been Anthony Spiro. He ran the neighborhood for the Bananos. Or maybe Sonny Red. I never had issues with Tommy, so I never really dug that deep. Then there's Frank Gongji. I ran into him again while in a witness unit. He's tall, 6 feet 2 inches, 6 feet 3 inches, built strong, a real presence. Even behind bars, he was intimidating. We'd play racquetball, and he'd smash the ball with one hand while smoking a cigarette with the other. I'd laugh and say, how the hell are you doing that? I'm over here catching my breath and you're puffing away. One time we were in line for dinner, and some guy tried to cut in front of me. I told him, yo, there's a line. Don't do that. We exchanged words, nothing serious. But out of nowhere, Frank came flying in from behind me and just cracked the guy in the face. Dropped him cold. His face exploded. That's who Frank was. Dangerous. Unpredictable. I asked him one time, what made you spill everything like that to the cops? You were only getting a ticket. He said, Sammy, I was terrified of Tommy. All the chopping, the madness, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think. I was a little high, and when they pulled me over, I just broke. I started talking. I couldn't help it. I told him, well, what you did didn't just bury him. You buried a bunch of guys. But I didn't blame him. I did the same thing. And Frank? He wasn't the kind of guy I wanted problems with. He was unstable, almost fearless. Fighting someone like that, it's a different breed. Another time, we were playing handball again. Got into it with a couple of black guys, small argument. Before I could react, Frank slammed into me, then decked one of them with a hit so hard it sounded like a hammer. The second guy stepped back immediately. No one wanted smoke with Frank. That's how feared he was. Eventually, we got sent to different places. Never saw him again. I read somewhere that he left the witness protection unit and just disappeared. Maybe changed identities, maybe moved overseas. No clue.